extra couple $1 million. Hey, oh, right over here, Daisy. You ready?
Hold on for just 1 sec. I'm gonna 311 that I'm
Yep.
here.
No worries.
Just in case I get robbed or something. Alright. What's going on?
Well, the county budget is down to $900,000.
The county budget.
Yeah. Down from 3.9.
How's the city budget?
That is the city budget.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there no money going in?
So
Medi Riot, Medi Jam.
Okay. I don't know how much of it is like scuff and how much of it is like just okay. So the short answer is no. So the puzzle that I'm trying to unwrap is pretty much as follows. This entirety of the week, there has not been enough material. And in turn, that means that there's no car parts, which in turn means very few opportunities to repair vehicles. I did this thing called Sandy Saturday yesterday. It was an experiment to not only try to understand how that drives up output. Effectively, we were able to double the output, but the cost of that was in the millions. And now over the next couple of days, I got to see, well, okay, did that at least fulfill the needs of the city in terms of repairs, right? But what I realized today, and this is more of like a, let's just call it a UI problem, because describing it any other way would be very difficult for me. But I have a feeling that the numbers that I am seeing is actually for the entirety of the state. And so I kind of have to work backwards to understand where's the money coming in and where's it going out. To give you an idea, I estimate that about $3 million so our revenue is 40 million and our expenditure is about 37 million, leaving us at positive 3 million. However, I think that 40 million and that 35 million is actually the state, and that the different sliders that I have access to, some affect this region but aren't necessarily painting the entire picture of what's going into our pocket. Does that kind of make sense what I'm trying to say? It's
Is this something that, you know, the IT department needs to
look
at?
Yeah, I'm gonna approach them. I think what happened is I think myself and Andy, I'm speculating, see the very exact same panel, and we're seeing our collective totals, but the individual sliders and their effect is affecting payments depending on what county you're in, but there's not really a good way to figure out how much is coming to us and how much is going to them and how much our spending is and how much their spending is. But it's purely speculation since it's, you know,
I think that needs to be a conversation with the IT department, so that way, you know, it can be more clear as to who's getting what and what the actual budget is. I think that there's only so much that you can do right now with what you have.
So the best way that I found to determine it is you create projections based on so I'm going to be tracking like the total state budget. Like I'm going to look at the bank account every day at like, let's say 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and sort of track that and estimate based on that. So, oh, rip. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, right? Until I talk to Andy, but I have a feeling when Andy looks at it, I'm like pretty confident that that's a state total and not a county total. And I don't think we can actually see the regional totals. Does that make sense? That what I think is occurring is the sliders affect our region, but the numbers are reflective of state. But we have a way to get around this, at least temporarily, by tracking the daily values. Of what's in the budget. But that is why I'm freaking out, because when I originally estimated everything, it was based on what the state values were. But I realized something was going on yesterday, because I was like, how did it go from 3.9 to 900,000? Because a $3 million, okay, fine, it was $300 for Sani, but we didn't make any money yesterday either. Like, where was the off balance, right? It should have been minus like 2 million, not minus 3. Does that make sense? It should have been like minus 3 plus 2. But instead, we only saw minus 3. So maybe it was a plus 2, but it was actually minus 5 million. But where's the other 2 million going? There's no way to really know. You have to guess. There was also like random things. Like I noticed go out, like I saw minus 20, I saw like minus $27,000 like administration. Yeah, exactly. The 21. I was like, what is that? It's not a government paycheck, right? So what the fuck is minus 21,000 administration? So why didn't the previous console have this? Because the previous console, chat, did not actually have a budget. It was pretend. The way that the sliders work, this is according to Soze, right? Soze told us this is why people were able to get paid $3,500 in PD, because a lot of that money was coming out of a indiscriminate account, right? And they didn't have to actually balance the budget. They probably did it for RP, but we actually have a budget. That's why we actually reduced the rates, but we're still running at a deficit. So in other words, the previous console was able to max everything and it didn't have any negative effect. So this is going to be an interesting conversation. The reason why Nino is trying to make it, and Nino's going to be very transparent with Daisy, because we got to work together on this. Why? I mean, because it's roleplay, guys. Remember, we're not playing a simulator. We're playing on a roleplay server. Everything is pretend. No job is real. I'm not actually the mayor. The legislation we're passing isn't real. There's literally, we're living in a city. I want you to keep this in mind, right? We have one of the justices who's also the state marshal that has authority to prosecute the law and has tanks. Right? Yeah. Exactly. So if you try to make too much sense out of things, you know, you know. We're living in a simulation. Yeah. The point being, like, you know. Excuse me, sir. I took the red pill. Oh, fuck. Hey! No, we were outside. Yeah, it crashed. Hey, by the way, while we're waiting for Daisy to make her way back, ladies and gentlemen, dasMEHDI is now sponsored by Factor 75. Oh, yeah. Wait, exclamation mark Factor. There we go. I'll put up the link into chat for all you sexies. Pin it. Yes. All right, there we go. I'll give you a link. Wait, that's not it. I posted the wrong one. Click yes on this. All right, there we go. All right. Factor 75. With my link or the panel down below, get 50% off your first box, 20% off your second box. Why Factor? I'm going to tell you about it as Daisy's coming through. Are you like Nino Chavez? Do you have a big dick? Or are you like Tilly and you got that thick ass? And you're sitting at work, working all day, and, you know, you're like, you know what, bro? I'm tired. You drive home, commute, right? And now you got a choice. You're sitting there on the highway. There's a McDonald's and a Wendy's on your right, and you're home 10 minutes away, and there's a grocery store right around the corner. Do you take the first turn and go to McDonald's or Wendy's and spend $25 for an unhealthy, expensive meal that's going to make you feel like shit and add to those pounds? Spend $25 to get fat and get drowsy and eat shit? Do you go down the second route and go to the grocery store and spend $60 on a bunch of ingredients and then go home and spend 40 minutes cooking a meal, and then as it's already late at night, eat your food, right? And say, man, I wish I had an extra hour? Or do you go down the route of Factor 75 for, I believe, what is currently $7 a meal, right? You get a box once a week. You get that box once a week. And in that box, you got an entire week's worth of chef cooked meals of varying types. I'll show you what they got this week. Oh my God, so many options. Ones that you're able to customize. Ones that range from only 600, 560, 650 calories? What? Designed for those who want to do keto, those who might want a protein, those who might want fiber meals. Categorized, there's usually 30 to 40 of these to pick from. And you get a box full of them. And you put it in the refrigerator. And so now when you get home, you go to the fridge, you throw the meal in, and in 3 to 5 minutes, you got some fucking heavily good tasting, fresh tasting, yummy, yummy nom noms. dasMEHDI, will show you right now that I have been using Factor 75 since 2022. And I'm going to show you that I'm not one of those fake fucks on Twitch that's going to lie to you. Here's my personal order history. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my God. Wait, a streamer that actually backs the product up? Yeah, that's right, chat. That's fucking right. I've been doing this, what, 3 years? And not only do I enjoy myself every day, not only do I get to do this and save an hour of time that I can instead spend doing something else, but I've been losing weight, I've been eating healthy, and I've been feeling good. Check my link out. 50% off Factor 75, baby. Sorry about that.
You're good.
So, yeah, so right now I'm kind of, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to balance the material problem alongside the budget problem, because fundamentally, right, the budget inherently is the one thing that I need in order to subsidize things like the tow company program, which I think you're going to like. The idea being like, I'm going to pit 2 different tow companies against each other, just so there's like friendly competition. And I'm going to mock up areas in the city that are going to have high priority tows. So like, for example, in front of Mission Row, in front of the hospital, certain roads that tend to go, and we're going to use a receipt system. And if the tow guy is going to like document, for example, there's a vehicle on the sidewalk in front of the hospital. If they document that and put it in the form, they get like $600 bonus, as opposed to what was before, whereas, you know, they're just moving local cars around. But kind of dialing back, yeah, there's a serious budget issue, and
Yeah.
so
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna shoot straight with you, Daisy. I think we need to find a way to start getting cops paid with the PD budget. I will say though that that is something that I want to be a long-term conversation, rather than, I'm not going to come here and say like, you know, I'm bringing the thing down to 250 or something along those lines. But I do want to rip off the bandage and say that I don't know what the hell I'm going to do on my side. And I do know that in the span of 48 to 72 hours, that PD budget had about $500,000 in it. So there may be more money that you have available to you than the city may have.
I will spend some time looking at the PD budget and looking at income from it and kind of weekly gross. And we can talk about it.
Absolutely.
You know, probably a little bit later as to what I think is actually feasible with the PD budget.
Absolutely.
I mean, the PD budget isn't just paychecks. It's also dealing with, you know,
interceptors, Air One,
you know, I read a report that, you know, we're hoping to get 2 more helicopters, and that's going to cost $3 million. you know, in addition to that, you know, subsidizing repairs for PPOs and, you know,
Oh no.
I gotta crunch the numbers.
Yeah. And I want to make it very clear, Daisy. I very much recognize that you've got like an entire mountain to absorb. So I am not going to touch anything for a week, 2 weeks. I'm going to give you enough time to like figure it out. Because the last thing I want to do is, you know, put more problems and people freaking out over paychecks. You know what I mean?
All right. I got a few things I need to talk to you about.
Okay.
First off, certifications. You know, do they need to be codified in legislation in any way, or are they considered, you know, basically a subdepartment of the LSPD that is just that is, you know, only run through the department? Do I need to bring in the DOJ in any way, or can I just basically approve certifications, you know, such as like Air One, motor, a detective unit, as is? Do I have full oversight, or do I need to bring in the DOJ?
Okay, so the answer is I don't know exactly. What I do know is I had BCSO come to me in regards to a highway unit at one point. I was also told that the CID could no longer exist until legislation was passed. It's a little confusing to me where the line is. I would recommend that we do pass legislation that makes civilians feel good, I guess, maybe.
Just more aware of the programs that the LSPD is running. But
yeah.
At the same time, I think, you know, the LSPD is in legislation, you know. It is so
I don't see why you would need it.
I don't really either, but I just wanted to check. I had somebody come up to me and basically asking to approve Air One.
Yeah.
And before I, you know, give them the okay, I didn't want to say, yep, send it, and then have to go back to them and say, actually, I need to go through the DOJ for this.
Yeah, I genuinely. So what I can say is that if there's any legislation you need passed, and let's say you drafted something, we can get it done quicker simply because we are the legislative body. So
the thing that I could see is more for, like you said, public transparency, you know, essentially outlining the different sub departments within LSPD.
Agreed.
But I don't think it's so much as it doesn't really make sense that legislation would need to approve these sub departments.
It may be, like I said, I've gotten like poked in both different ways, right? But it was never really made clear like which route to take. It might be one of those what do you call it? Hey, it's probably good to do. So to give you an example, before A1 goes live, you probably want legislation that says, you know, if a civilian or a criminal goes and does blah 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 and flies a Air One into a building, it's terrorism. You know, I'm assuming that's kind of more it is, because like I don't see why the legislation would restrict officers from operating unless that particular tool could be used nefariously. Because while there may be SOPs, there may be some things that may not be desired.
The legislation is more about how do these tools impact the public, or how can they be used against the public?
Yeah.
And what are the consequences of doing that?
There's another one, and you know, once again, just to be clear, I'm just kind of like spitballing, so I haven't thought deep about it, but someone could argue without looking at the legislation, is airspace state or is it county? Because
that is I think that is something I'll need to work directly with the BCSO and DOJ to determine, because
agreed. Yeah.
I would assume the BCSO will have their own helicopter, or use ours if they're at LSPD and need to quickly access it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I will cook on that a little bit more. In addition, I have picked my assistant chief.
Oh, shit. Jesus. Okay. All right.
It became a pretty clear choice. It was, after spending some time.
I hope
with
it's
this
somewhat
person.
different from what we got. I think it's going to be.
Tell you now, or would you prefer that I tell you in private?
I'm okay either way, to be honest. Whatever your comfort level is.
It will be Tyler Peters.
Okay. Hell yeah. That's exciting. Are you serious?
Am I serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good fucking shit. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. I was not expecting that. Okay.
I think Tyler is a little rough around the edges, but I think he has a good head on his shoulders.
Oh my God. Fucking W. I thought she was going to say Liam or something. Yeah.
I think there
my God.
going to be situations where he's going to push back, and I want somebody to push back, and I want somebody to tell me when I'm not making the right choice.
Good shit. I think that's a fantastic choice. I think it's going to cause some tension, but this city. I
didn't bring me in here.
Yeah.
To keep everything the same.
Hell yeah. That's right. Wow. That's got me really excited. I was not expecting that.
I'm going to have a conversation
with
Tyler today.
God!
And pending he accepts, pending the BCSO accepts his transfer.
Yeah.
He'll be sworn in as Assistant Chief of Police.
Oh yeah. I'd love to attend. Whenever the swearing in is and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. One recommendation. I don't know if there's any attorneys that you trust right now, but I think having someone available for writing any legislation you need would be good. I
have spoken to Nathaniel Grayson about the training program for the LSPD. I'm going to be working closely with him to get these officers ready. I will talk to him. I think he could be a good asset. If that's something he's interested in doing.
Yeah. I think that's I don't know him too well.
I do think that may actually not be a good idea, because I think he's
a little sketch. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I don't think he's sketch. I think he just wants to be a judge.
Gotcha.
That might not, long term, that might not be the solution.
Yeah.
But I'll still talk to him about it.
Yeah. All right. Easy.
Do you have any food, by the way?
I do. There you go. You know what I just found out? One of the sushi stall apparently hasn't been open in like 4 months.
Do we, are there guidelines for the food stalls?
No.
That if they don't run it on a consistent basis?
Oh, no. It's, that's like the other part of my, there's the budget, but the other part of it is there's legislation for virtually nothing. Like, it's very clean slate. So, I'm contemplating charging each. So those stalls are making, according to one of them, they're making like $250,000 a day. So I'm contemplating like a $100,000 charge on a weekly basis, which would inadvertently cause inactive stalls to either, sell their stall out or, bleed into the negative. So I haven't decided yet because I think that might cause disruption. But on the flip side, if they can afford 100,000, that's 400 times, X amount of stalls, and that may solve the budget issue altogether. But still a lot of discussion left around that. But if there are things that come to mind as well that you're like, hey, this might be a good way for the the PD or the county to make money, I'm very much open ears.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I'll ask around as well.
Bro, I am so excited, Peters!
To officers, see if they have any idea. You know who I like? I like Peach.
I love Peach.
Oh, she says hello, by the way. She asked me to tell you hi.
Peach
Nino.
and someone named Goldie.
I haven't met Goldie.
Goldie is fantastic. I saw her doing like bike patrol, and she was spending a time like chatting with folks. I
really want to cultivate any interests that Peach has.
Yeah.
She seems very fun to be around.
Yeah.
And I wanna make sure that she feels wanted within the PD, and that she feels appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
All right.
I gotta go talk to Peters and get this stuff rolling.
Okay. Sounds good.
After Peters is appointed assistant chief, we're going to be taking a look at the command structure. I didn't want to make those decisions without an assistant chief.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Makes sense. All right. This has got me really excited.
Yeah. Give me a call if you need anything, okay?
Will do. Oh, and if you could let Peters know to contact Michael, we can get an article up on him as well, so we can get that posted to the website.
Peters will have access to the PD budget, right? Like, we can get that all sorted out?
I don't know. I don't even know, like, who gave me access. I think it was Angel, but it could have been IT as well.
All right. I'll talk to Angel about it.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Just holler if you need anything, okay?
Will do. Appreciate you, Daisy.
Thank you.
Oh my fucking God!